Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another edition of Before I Go Wrong. And in this edition of Before I Go Wrong, I'll be doing Before I Go Wrong, UFC Fight Night, Pavlovich versus Blaydes. So let's just run through this card and see where my head is at currently and try to make some adjustments in the next couple of days and come up with my final pick. So yeah, let's see where my head is at currently. And this is just not, an overall pick like first blah, blah, blah. Well, Sergey Senior, first round submission, 5 seconds in. This ain't all that. This might say I'm going with this guy right now for the moment because of such or such or such. So yeah, this is the rough draft. So first fight we got at 135, Brady Highstand versus bantamweight versus Batgirl Dana or Danae or whatever the name would be. I'm going with Brady Highstand right now. It's not super high on Batgirl Dana, but then again, am I really super high on Brady Highstand? So this likely going to be a low average confidence. Most likely, matter of fact, it's going to be a low confidence pick for the most part. That might shift, but it's looking like a low confident pick, Brady Highstand. This seems like the more well-rounded guy. This feel like Batgirl Dana just bring hands, whereas Brady Highstand will look to mix in grappling. And I feel like the only time somebody did attempt to grapple him, they did win against Batgirl Dana. Whether they were this successful or that successful, they did actually attempt some takedowns and had success with some takedowns. They did beat him. Controversial win nonetheless, but I felt Brady Highstand is a much better grappler than I think anyone he has fought, or at least as far as actively the whole process of getting the takedown and then grappling, not just like, oh, I'm a BJJ 7-time world champion, but my takedowns suck. But like overall, as far as MMA, getting the takedown, along with the control and along with being able to push that pace for 15 minutes, I think Brady Highstand is the best guy he has fought, in my opinion, or to my recollection currently off the top of my head. So yeah, going Brady Highstand. Don't know if he's going to finish, but it's going to be a decision. But I think Brady Highstand should win this one. I'm leaning like a low confidence right now. Then to the next one we have in the women's flyweight division, we got Priscilla Cackaware versus Karine Silva. And yeah, Cackaware can't just keep getting away with it. How you lose a fight, you try and claw a woman's eyes out while you getting a rear naked choke or something. I feel like Karma should have had her just getting knocked out on the next 3 fights and cut and banned from the UFC. But she somehow, I think right now on a 2-fight winning streak, I believe. But don't quote me on that. But either way, she's still in the UFC. She picked up some wins, and I feel like she should have just got ran through. And well, that's the bad terminology. But I feel like she should have got stomped a couple times and been out of the UFC. It's like really no redemption for that. That's just like so dirty. Literally like blatantly gouging someone's eyes trying to stick in a fight. That's like the worst of the worst. That's literally the worst thing you can do in MMA. Play with somebody's joints a little bit, kick somebody in the balls, I guess. Well, I mean, maybe you just full on stomp someone's head while they unconscious. That might beat that. But oblique kicks and all that stuff, it's worse than that. Like eye gouging is like literally the worst thing. I remember like old UFC, this one fighter who Vita Belva did give him karma and just dribble that man head off the ground like a basketball. But it was like that guy fought like an old UFC fighter. He didn't do that to Vita Belfort. Vita Belfort knocked him out. It was some Asian guy that he was fighting, like smaller than him. This big white dude was getting caught in submission. He started literally like digging in the guy's eyes. And the guy had permanent eye damage. Like that's like worse. Like imagine you go into a fight, you trying to give y'all and this dude permanently blind you in one of your eyes. That's like terrible. So that's I think that's one of the most diabolical things you could do in MMA and almost easily get away with. It's not the John Jones eye poke, like literally like somebody scraping your eyes and trying to dig in, try and pull your eyeball out. I mean, she didn't do all that, but she still was like literally trying to do damage to her eyeball to get out of submission. So I feel anything she gets, she deserves, and like that's just dirty. Like you can't really come back from that. But hey, she's been able to even got a judge's favor in the fight she should have lost, and she got like a knockout. So, but I didn't care Karine Silva. I still don't think Priscilla Cackaware. I still do not think that Priscilla Cackaware is takedown defense is all that great. Her grappling is all that great. I think she's very exploitable in the area, and I feel like Karine Silva could take her there and exploit her there. I think she could get a submission over or finish over at least. So I'm leaning Karine Silva, and I'm likely going to stay with it. I just don't feel right with me to lean to Priscilla Cackaware, and I seem like it's a decent enough stylistic matchup. Is it going to be like a high or lock? Hell no. But I think she does have what she needs to beat Priscilla Cackaware, but probably like average confidence. In decision, submission, TKO, I'm not sure. Kind of leaning submission at the moment. Next fight, we got Francis Marshall versus William Gomez. And I think right now, Francis Marshall is just the better overall fighter. But I'm not too sure where William Gomez is. But again, he does train with Cyril Gahn. I feel like everybody in that gym kind of has been struggling in the grappling department. So maybe that might be a sign enough to maybe go high confidence with Francis Marshall. But I think that's probably like average confidence for Francis Marshall. Gomez is probably the better striker. Marshall better wrestler, grappler. But overall better fighter, probably Marshall. So I'm going to lean to Francis Marshall and probably like average. But definitely probably not high, but who knows, might shift. Maybe I just buy more into that. But again, this is a case where you're dealing with these fighters that's fresh faces. Like you can't go super high confidence on no fresh faces too much many times unless they really show to be this exceptional talent. And even then, you gotta be a little bit concerned because, yeah, these guys will disappoint you a lot of times, especially with the current trend. They are kind of disappointing, but ain't like, well, like, blah, blah. But yeah, going Francis Marshall, he's just seemed the more around the guy right now. And again, it seems like that gym is currently struggling in the grappling department. So yeah. Next fight we have in the heavyweight division, Muhammad Uzman versus Junior Tawfa, and this definitely gonna be a low confidence. I'm leaning Junior Tawfa. I think most of the confidence is, or most of the reason to even lean to Junior Tawfa for anyone is the fact that Muhammad Uzman barely won his season of tough, like barely won all the fights on the season, and in the finale he was getting outstruck the whole fight. Then in the second round he just caught him with a big shot, and this took one big shot and this ended the fight really, or a couple big shots, but like really one big shot that just set it all off and ended the fight. So yeah. And Junior Taffer is supposed to have this experience, supposed to have this experience, like supposed to be this kickbox, supposed to be this box or whatnot. I don't think he'll be nothing phenomenal in the UFC. Probably gonna be a little bit better than his brother at best, probably. But I think he should be to get his win over Uzman, but again, low comp. Like most of this reason to even lean to Taffa is just Uzman himself, like Muhammad Uzman. It's not because of Taffa so this, Taffa so that. It's like, oh, Uzman barely won a season. He ain't that technical. He not got no wrestling background like his brother. He just a big former football player that didn't make it. Big, he can jump and slam his feet on the ground and scream and throw some big power shots, but technique pretty sloppy for the most part. I mean, he got a good head on the shoulder, seemed like a decent dude, but yeah, it seemed like it may just not really for him. I guess he overachieved and won a tough, so that's good for him. He's forever embedded in history. He's a tough winner, so that's good for him. And he got that record with his brother, like the first brothers to win tough. But yeah, I don't see no evolution. It's also like not like his brother is some super technician on the feet. He definitely improved his striking, but Uzman probably wouldn't even be like top 15. You just look at pure striking in the weight class. So Uzman ain't really the best striker. And his older brother ain't really, I mean, Kamaru, they both Uzman, ain't really the best striker. So I can't really say Muhammad Uzman going pro, but like I said, Taffa we don't know is like, where's he at? So again, most of this heavily relying on Uzman more so than Taffa. We can say this and speculate this about Taffa, but he's very much an unproven commodity. It ain't like he was always a legit Golden Glove champion. Not that Brendan Schaub Golden Glove champion, but like you actually won the whole national. You're not just won your local city. That's probably what Brendan Schaub and a lot of these guys like Stipe Miocic. You guys did not actually win the Golden Gloves. You guys won your city or maybe your block, maybe your neighborhood, yeah, your block, your corner or something. But you ain't the skills you guys have even right now aren't nothing to really win a full-on Golden Glove. So yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I feel like Junior Taffa ain't even on that level. He ain't really got no true accolades as of yet, like no real true accolades. Ain't like he was no real standout, like he was top 10 in the heavyweight division in boxing, or he was a K1 5-time champion, a Grand Prix winner, or stuff like that. He ain't really got no true accolades. Good, like I said, definitely skilled, definitely come from a background of that, but he ain't no real super stud proven yet. So again, most of that's relying on Uzman. So I've talked too much about this one. Now on to the next one. Yeah, low confidence top is it right now. Next one we got Carol Rosa versus Norma Dumont. I think this is woman featherweight. And I got Norma Dumont. So Carol Rosa is jumping up to featherweight, I guess, to fight in that empty weight class. I guess I don't know. They like we don't have no fighters in this weight class. We'll pay you each extra $2,000 to go up there and fight at this weight class. So yeah, this is happening. I think Norma Dumont has more experience at the weight class, and I feel like she's a little bit longer, a little bit bigger. I feel like Carol Rose is just kind of this hopping into the weight class for a paycheck, or maybe well, I don't think all these women are really actively trying to fight Amanda Nunes. So I think it's definitely just a paycheck to fill that roster spot. They're like, we got this roster, we got this weight class that's not even being used. We'll pay you some extra money to fight in this trash. Sorry excuse for a weight class, the worst weight class in MMA history, literally the worst weight class in MMA history. In it, like I think in any organization, like literally the worst weight class. I mean, Nunes herself makes the weight class decent, and for a period of time we had like two other fighters like that were somewhat decent, Jermaine Durandamine and Holly Holm. But outside that, this literally a disgusting weight class. Oh, and Cyborg at one point, but yeah, trash weight class. But yeah, I'm gonna like the fact that Norma Dumont's a little bit bigger. She actually was a decent size 45 rep points. But I don't like the fact that they both horseshoe in the weight class, especially Dumont. But I feel like Dumont should be able to win this one. Be the bigger, more physical woman. And may work behind the jab more, use her size to her advantage. But probably low confidence here. Lower average confidence for Dumont. Ain't going crazy with that one at all. Now to the next one we have in the bantamweight division. Ronnie Yaya versus Montel Jackson. I'll say here right now, lock in Montel Jackson. Lock it. minus 600, which is even still right now. But by the time I probably jump on it, even though like why I'm gonna procrastinate, that thing probably be minus 2,000, and it will be deservingly so minus 2,000, minus 4,000. But I think it's probably gonna peak at minus 800. I think maybe minus. Matter of fact, probably peak at minus 1,200. I don't think it's gonna go higher than that, but it could definitely go higher than that. It should go higher than that, but for my sake, or for my benefit, I hope it drops. I hope some sharp guys that serve it like it so sharp. Ronnie Yaya is going to grow a whole foot taller. He's going to knock out stone brick hands, and he's going to beat him up. And they shifted to like minus 200 for Montel Jackson or something. Like then that's a real super steal. But yeah, this is the biggest lock probably in the past 2 weeks. Montel Jackson, as far as UFC, Montel Jackson or Ronnie Yaya. You got a guy who's 38, primarily a BJJ guy, is a BJJ guy. Never really had the most cleanest striking at all. Mostly slappy punches. He knew what he is. He did improve his striking over the time, but definitely some very low level striking. Very only be the smaller guy, the much older guy. And Montel Jackson definitely in the last fight showed that he is coming into his own in the last fight. He fought a pretty clean striker. He now struck him, dropped him, and beat him over the course of 3 rounds. So I think he should be able to finish Roddy Yaya, be the first guy in the UFC, not WEC. We know Joey B, Joseph Benavidez stopped him in WEC, but Montel Jackson will be the first guy to stop him in the UFC. And at 38, give him a lot of size, not matching the talent. Montel Jackson been a well-rounded guy, should be able to stuff the takedowns. I don't think he can go out to try to play grapple with him. If he don't play grappling, this is lock money right here. Lock, easy, super easy green money for Montel Jackson. And I think also stoppage is good money for Montel Jackson. So maybe just throw stoppages in there because you lean the stoppage is probably just going to likely lean to Montel Jackson anyway. And then the habit stance that Ronnie Yaya pull some weird submission off, you still get the money off that. But yeah, so Montel Jackson, lock in the distance, probably high confidence. And it's general in the distance, high confidence well, because then you catch both of those. So Ronnie Yaya, the only path to victory I feel here is by sub. Or yeah, something crazy. But yeah, lock in Montel Jackson. Now to the next one we got in the lightweight division, Rick Glenn versus Christos Yagos, and this is gonna be another high confidence pick. Like this, letting you guys know right here in this video, high confidence ain't likely shifting. Might even shift to lock, but it ain't shifting to average or low. High confidence Rick Glenn versus Christos Yagos. Yagos probably beats these he beats cans and he beats guys that maybe struggle with grapplers. But when he goes in there with the grapplers, he loses all the times. And Rick Glenn ain't no fresh baby face Care Bear, this super young talent who coming in that's gonna get a rub or something because they still young and they need to get a lesson taught to them. Now Rick Glenn is a veteran of the game. He can grapple with Christos Giago, probably out grapple Giagos. He can outstrike Giagos. I think he could beat Giagos everywhere. But I think most likely it's probably gonna more so just pick him apart on the feet, then probably transition that into any grappling but probably be more so defensive with his grappling and just pick apart Giagos. Then probably from there start being addressing his imposing his will on him in the grappling if he does. But yeah. I see Rick Glenn being able to beat him everywhere, address everywhere, beat him everywhere if he needs to. So high confidence Rick Glenn here. In the distance or this or that, still to be determined, but Rick Glenn, whether who's winning or not, high confidence Rick Glenn. Yeah. Now to the next fight we have in the welterweight division, we got Jeremiah Wells versus Matthew Smellsberger. And probably go a little confidence here. Matthew Smellsberger did beat the white version of Jeremiah Wells. I forget who that dude named, that little short, no neck dude, white dude, pasties a mug. But I feel like Jeremiah Wells like the black version of him, like a short, no neck, but big teeth. And yeah, about the same thing. Like this Blanco and Negro. They the same dude, but the black version better. Sometimes that's just happen to be the tendency. Like you got the white version and the black version, typically the better version, typically. And that's no racism. That's just how it be a lot of times. That's how it be. But yeah. Jeremiah Wells versus Matthew Smellsberger. Yeah, I'm going Wells right now, low confidence. But this one could highly likely shift. Jeremiah Wells, I think primarily a grappler, but so far he's been exploding on people and knocking them out. And one time he fought a striker and he chose to grapple on that one. But I don't think he'll have the greatest success grappling Matthew Smellsberger. Smellsberger has pretty decent wrestling defense and decent jiu-jitsu grappling with awareness as well. But I think Jeremiah Wells will be able to catch him with some wild, explosive stuff. So I don't know. This fight is definitely up in the air. I think most likely it's going to end in the distance. Like either Wells knocking Smellsberger out, Smellsberger knocking Wells. I think they both going to bring it. But somebody's life's going to get turned off. And I think right now it's going to be Matthew Smellsberger. And that's just all I can say right now. I'm like, yeah, I feel it's, Wells is like you almost kind of relying on getting a finish early. This is how energized he be. Like the guy be doing a whole lot of energy, a lot of explosion. There's a lot of this swinging and banging. So if he don't get the finish or maybe get caught while he's swinging the bang, it's like he's got to just kill or be killed. He's just a kill or be killed fighter. So it's like where I feel like Matthew Smellsberger, he can win decisions, he can win knockout. I feel like it's more path to victory for Matthew Smellsberger, at least as far as like, oh, I can win in the first round, I can win in the second round, I can win in the third round, I can win a decision fight. Where I feel like, well, like I'm either gonna finish you or I'm gonna be finished. Like he has very limited options I've seen, but he could definitely knock him out. He could definitely sub him potentially, maybe even decision him just based off hurting him in 2 rounds and then maybe survive third or maybe just doing enough in the third round. But I definitely see it being more likely to believe that Smellsberger can win. I don't see Smellsberger win no submission. Like so, as far as options, I feel like Wells has more options to win, like knockout, TKO, or knockout, sub, or decision. Where I feel like Smellsberger's are like knockout or decision. But Smellsberger again can win in the first, second, third. He can win a decision. He can win this fight. He can win that fight. But yeah, right now I'm going Wells, and I think the safest thing as far as that one is probably in the distance. I don't think this is going to be a decision fight at all. It don't really read as a decision. Yeah. Now to our next fight. I don't even know what weight class this is at. What women's bantamweight, I believe, but don't quote me on that. I'm just rolling on the paper right here. Uzman Lucindo versus Brogan Walker. I'm going Uzman Lucindo low comp. This is another case where you're going based. Well, I'm currently going based off a woman who to win because the other woman hasn't looked good. She lost whatever her name is. She lost to what's that chick name? I ain't even gonna look it up right now. But she lost this Brogan Walker just recently lost the Ultimate Fighter. And then the person she beat just had a terrible lackluster performance. And it just showed that she is still very much green. She lost a woman who was like 2-1 or 3-1 or something like that. But yeah, I really can't say too much about this fight. Like right now, I really don't care too much about this fight, and I probably won't care too much about this fight in a couple days. But yeah, I'm going Uzman Lucindo. I just feel like she's well rounded enough. Brogan Walker coming off a very disappointing fight, but who knows? Maybe that's jitters. Like she was so jittery. Like, oh my gosh, I'm in a big fight right here, and this and tough, and also a little bit of tough bias because tough does favor the younger fighter. Like you kind of coming in like over 30 and whatnot, and tough you likely not going to win it unless it's a comeback season or something. People like over 30 typically don't win tough seasons. It simply favors the 20-year-olds, the Kelvin Gaslams and stuff, and Diego Sanchez and all these other young fighters and typically tough is not you want to make the UFC and you're like over 30, and unless it's an old season, like or maybe a heavyweight season or something like that, you're likely not gonna win that tough season. Like, hey, it's gonna get you in the UFC at least, and probably better not to make it to the finale. You're most likely gonna lose in the finale. You make it to the finale, so you're like, I still got an undefeated record, making the UFC that way in the back door. But, yeah, tough winners typically favor largely like 99.9% of the times favor youthful fighters. But hey, I don't know. I'm talking too much about this fight I don't care about, so I'm going Ivan Lucindo, low confidence. I just feel like she will run enough, and Brogan Walker is coming off a very disappointing, to say the least, finale of Tough. So yeah. Next one, we got Bobby Green versus Jerry Gordon. Lightweight, I'm going high confidence Bobby Green. Most likely going to be decision, but I'm not setting nothing in stone just yet. But this one does have some questionable factors about it. I feel confident in one, but I feel like also it might be a case where Jerry Gordon might just be able to outwork him, and Bobby Green not, committed enough to get this finish over Jared Gordon. Or maybe y'all some weird case Jared Gordon actually catch him with something, knock him out or something. But I feel high confidence in Bobby Green, but also at the same time I feel like this matchup is too easy right there. I feel like it's kind of like Bobby Green being sitting in the kill is like he's being sent in as the assassin to shut Jared Gordon up as like I beat Patty Pimblett. I beat Patty Pimblett. Like, go Bobby Green, box that man up, knock him out, follow up punches on him. You could hit him with that Dan Henderson, Michael Bisping on him, shut this man up. That's what we sending you to. We gonna give you extra $2 underneath the table. Matter of fact, extra $10 right now. And we ain't give you no Nelk Boy money. We don't like you that much. We like you, but we don't like you as much as a Nelk Boy. We're gonna give you a 10K bonus if you knock this man out, slide him up underneath the ring. But yeah, he's kind of been sitting in the kill order, the silencer right here. But he's coming off of getting knocked out. And Jared Gordon is not like he's a bad fighter. Jared Gordon's a very solid fighter. I think the biggest issue with Jared Gordon is the fact that he has been chinny at points. Like, there's been fights he's been up on, he got knocked out in and stuff. It has been those cases, but Jared Gordon he got an insane work rate, very insane work rate, high work rate, good workman's mentality as well. So Jared Gordon is not no person to be slept on at all in this one. It's not like, oh, Bobby Green is so much better than him. Even if it does end up like that, I will still say Jared Gordon is just no one to be slept on. So Bobby Green got to come in there. He can't come out here just being so lax. Jared Gordon will put a pace on him and maybe still get outlanded or maybe match his pace. But by him being an aggressor, Jared Gordon could definitely pull off an upset over Bobby Green. This is definitely not a lot. I'm high in confidence in it. I like the style matchup. I like the matchup for Bobby Green. But Jaron Gordon is definitely not no one to be slept on. So yeah, in that matchup. I feel like Bobby Green got to come in for kill mode, basically. Or just be on his P's and Q's, be sharp, and can't let Jerry Gordon get anything going. But yeah. High confidence Bobby Green, but again, I'm gonna say for the 400th time, I'm kind of questionable about it, but kind of questionable about it. But yeah. Next one we got in the middleweight division, Brad Tavares versus Bruno Silva. Another weird match. I'm going probably average or low confidence here. Tavares has been a chinny fighter at points in his career. I think he is a chinny fighter. But how those weird fights where you randomly have a chin, but most of the fights you have no chin. I think Brad Tavares is the overall more technical fighter than Bruno Silva, but Bruno Silva does have that power punching. I mean, those heavy hands, and all it takes is one shot. So Bruno Silva definitely can make his way in this fight. But I'm gonna say Brad Tavares to win. I thought this would be a fight where he's gonna show up, but he's seen that this guy just lost to Raw Machart, and we don't know where Bruno Silva is coming off that loss. Kind of got flat out embarrassed in that one. So I feel like also he took a lot of damage in the Alex Pereira fight too, so that could play a factor. So even though he made it to a decision against Pereira, taking the damage he did against Pereira, like that still wears on you. Like, oh, I didn't get knocked out, so I'm good. I'm like, it was a decision win. Sometimes you take way more damage in a decision loss than you would in a knockout loss. Matter of fact, probably more time often than not. You can say, well, he didn't get knocked out, so he that guy got knocked out in his last fight, so he took more damage. He's gonna be worn out. You go see, guy, he went to decision, so he's okay. It was a decision. He fought competitively. He fought better. But now that guy, man, was getting head dribbled for 25 minutes. Like, he was in the fight. He showed a good count, but his head got dribbled. And he actually took more damage than the guy KO on the record. Like I said, he got 6 KO losses, more damage. But this guy had 10 fights where he was just a punching bag. Or a lot of times he's taking punching bags from, like, other guys. So, yeah, all I'm trying to say is I feel like he took a lot of damage in that Pereira fight that people kind of not realizing or kind of forgetting. And it's probably took more damage than he would have if he just got flat out knocked out by Pereira. It would have visually would not look as bad. I mean, it would have looked worse, but I think he would have took less damage than he did in that fight. And they definitely think he's carrying that with him. And yeah, I think when Brad Tavares gets knocked out, it's not really a whole lot of damage. He did get picked apart by Adesanya for 5 rounds, but it wasn't really like Adesanya was hitting with super heavy shots. And the times he did get knocked out was mostly like quick shots. So I definitely think Bruno Silva in that fight took a lot more damage than Brad Tavares did in a lot of the fights. The couple of fights he did get knocked out in. But yeah, I'm talking a whole lot about this right here. Ultimately, I think Brad Tavares is fresher right now, and I think riding a little bit better steam. And I think he'll be able to fight more composed and find a way to beat Bruno Silva as long as he can avoid getting caught flush with power. And I think he should be good. I think he could take the power if he needs necessary, but again, I think the main thing is just to not even test that theory if he can handle that power. Like, you're going to get hit, but don't try this not to get hit flush, and don't try to like test your chin. This is not the time to do it. Just fight a clean, composed fight, mixing the volume, mixes highs and lows. Maybe try to mix some takedowns. Especially try to mix some takedowns. I think Tavares wrestling's underrated. Especially if you adjust that for this fight. That'd be a very smart path to victory for him. Mixing the striking, then mixing the grappling, and really trying to wear down the arms of. I said wear down. What are you saying? Wear down the arms of Bruno Silva, and so you kind of take away his main weapon to beat you, which is his power and knocking you out. And then I feel like Brad Tavares should be in full control and fully in the driver's seat. So Brad Tavares is right now about average low confidence. Next fight we got in the bantamweight division. We got Song Yadong versus Ricky Simone. And high season right here is I got Song Yadong. Song Yadong. I got Ricky Simone actually. I don't got Song Yadong. I should just go back to when I was live at the UFC card in 2019 it was. Tail end of 2019, Overeem versus Rosenstruck or Rosenstruck versus Overeem. And I see Song Yadong getting a gifted draw against Cody Stamann. Like, I think he got struck one round and taken down in that round. I think it was striking total was even in one round, like flat even. Matter of fact, I think Ricky Simone landed one more shot. Not Ricky Simone, Cody Stamann landed one more shot and he got 2 takedowns in that round. So that should have been a good enough round for Stamann. Like, it shouldn't have been no issue giving that to Stamann. Then third round literally was like Stamann would just took him down, had him down for like 3-4 minutes, just pounding on him. Probably could have really been stopped, but Song Yadong made it to a decision on the hair of a chinny chin chin and got gifted with a draw in that one. Like, that was a clear robbery right there. One of the worst robberies in MMA history, in my opinion. Like, terrible. And that should have been a 10-8 round. At least. But yeah, at the very least. So, well, not at the very least, because they can't do 10-7. Well, they can do 10-7. They be picky. But if you want to do a 10-7, you could have done a 10-7 in that round. But yeah. And I see Ricky Simone now fighting Song Yadong, and I feel like no one has really looked to test Song Yadong's wrestling too much. And I feel like Ricky Simone is the best wrestler, grappler that he will have faced in his career. And I feel like Ricky Simone's striking is very underrated as well. I think he got to avoid the power of Song Yadong and not get caught in any firefights. But if he can mix the grappling in, started to have success there. I think he could dominate Song Yadong and eventually, I mean, even potentially finish Song Yadong. But I'm kind of leaning more so decision for Ricky Simone. Definitely largely in base due to the grappling of Ricky Simone and getting his hand raised with Song Yadong. Probably about average or low confidence. Song Yadong is very gaming. He does got that power. He's a very gifted fighter as well. So it's like you can't just feel like Ricky Simone's going to just so easily like this ceiling stone that he's gonna walk over him. He's not gonna walk over. It's gonna be a competitive fight. But ultimately, I think Ricky Simone is the more rounded fighter. I think he can hold his own on with the feet, even though hold his own with him on the feet, even though that's not the smartest thing. I'm just saying if he needs to, he can do that, and so he can find a range to set up his takedowns. But I don't feel like Song Yadong in a grappling match can hold his own with Ricky Simone. I just feel like Ricky Simone's the more overall more well-rounded fighter, and I think that should get his hand raised in this one. Also, I've seen Song Yadong dominate in the grappling. It's semi-recent history, and I feel like Simone is better than Cody Stamann, and I think he can have better success in the area and win it clear so the judges can't steal that one from him. So right now, average confidence, Ricky Simone. Now to our main event, we have in the heavyweight division, we got Sergey Pavlovich versus Curtis Blaydes, Curtis Razor Blaydes, and how I see where he is. I'm going like average confidence, Curtis Blaydes. I'm just not super sold on Sergey Pavlovich. He just seemed like another hype job. Hype jobs don't always just mean you just beat tomato cans. I just beat 50 tomato cans. I just saw guys in the bar already drunk, and I just lined them up, gave them a contract. I knocked them out one by one. I just beat 50 guys in one night. And like, oh my gosh, I'm the greatest fighter ever. I knocked 50 dudes out in one night that were already halfway drunk on drugs. And somebody else already knocked this guy. I picked him up and like, hey, hop in line. I knocked him out. And I just knocked out 50 bums. It don't always mean that. But you catching Tai Tuivasa after taking a whole lot of damage in the Cyril Gane fight. Got brutally beat up in that one. Obviously took even way more damage in that fight than he did in your fight. He had better account for himself one, but he took way more damage and he returned super quick and got starched. You got Curtis Blaydes, not Curtis, but you got Derek Lewis, who don't know how to defend himself. So you just kind of did what he did against him. And a lot of times Derek Lewis be getting beat just like that early on, and they don't stop it. So it's like you knocked him out cold. They stop. I mean, you would have won regardless, I feel, but you just won a guy that had no striking defense, and you just rushed him. And did what pretty much everyone else did to him, but they stopped it. They stopped it relatively early. But again, I don't think the outcome would have been any different. Probably would have been worse for Derek Lewis. He might have got really hurt in that one instead of like a little bit hurt and stumbled. But yeah, again, you all know guys like with no defense and no real other way to take the fight. You got Derek Lewis. He ain't really gonna get no takedown over you. He didn't have the takedown ability to take you down. I'm not saying he don't have any grappling ability. We saw him take down Tai Tuivasa, but against you, his takedowns would have really been meaningless. He would have had no success there. Then you had Tai Tuivasa, who really ain't got no offensive takedown ability, and coming off a lot of damage, so he knocked him out. And other guys, you just beat literally some old guys that's about to be retired up. So it's like he really got the track record, is all I'm saying. Good names in the last two fights, but overall the track record really ain't tracking. And I feel like Curtis Blaydes can extend him out of the first round. I feel like he can test his wrestling. And I felt both guys can have issues going forward, but I definitely think Pavlovich, who had a history of just beating guys in the first rounds and under a minute here and there, is going to struggle if Blaydes is able to extend it. I think Blaydes will be able to extend him, and Blaydes is still the best wrestler in the weight class. Well, maybe John Jones is the better wrestler, but I would say John Jones is the better wrestler, but Curtis Blaydes is the bigger wrestler. So yeah, I think Blaydes will be able to drag him out of that first round, and I think ultimately this one, the biggest confidence you can find in this one is probably in the distance. I feel like neither of these guys are going to be looking for a decision. I feel like Blaydes could, especially in 5 rounds, could tire out Pavlovich, maybe TKO him, probably most likely TKO. I haven't really seen no jiu-jitsu from Blaydes, so probably TKO him after exhausting him in like 3rd round, or Pavlovich getting him out early. So like a 3rd round TKO for Blaydes, or like a 1st round or 2nd round knockout for Pavlovich. Most likely 1st round knockout for Pavlovich if he wins, and most likely like a 2nd or 3rd round TKO for Blaydes. So I'm leaning Blaydes here to be able to extend him. I feel like he should be able to have success with his wrestling. Maybe not initially out the gate. And also Blaydes striking is underrated when he believes in it as well. So believe in his striking. Avoid the big power of Pavlovich. It's not like Pavlovich is some super technician. He doesn't be swinging his shots out. He like a Russian Todd Duffy. And I feel like he's going to get exposed to be that very, very soon, and probably likely in this fight. So average confidence, Curtis Blaydes extends him, drowns him, gets him out of there, 2nd or 3rd round. So currently, Curtis Blaydes to win this one. So yeah, in this one, I got Curtis Blaydes, to win. Average confidence. And that's the video. That's my before I go wrong picks. And these are not my finished picks, because obviously you do not see the end result, the methods and the rounds for these fights outside of maybe like that fight right there. So yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. And again, start a dialogue in the comment section below. Let's really get this thing jumping. Hop in the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, just send me a message and a comment. I'll invite you in the Discord. We about to start it. Well, me, whatever, about to start doing something big, especially coming into May. Like May, no matter if no ifs, ends, or buts. In May, I'm turning it up. Like I'm literally turning up in May. Like I'm about to like this drain these bookies in May, June, July, all 2023, all 2024. About to start legit gutting these bookies in that coming year. So be locked in. And you like say you stay this long in the video, this is your reward. You about to really start to see some crazy stuff happening in May. So probably by the end of April, but definitely in May. May I'm literally gonna kill it. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.